Locarno unveils its Open Doors program project for its first edition with a focus on African filmmakers, especially those who are embarking on their first or their second production. We'll be delving into the story that talks about who they are, which country they are from, and possibly the projects that they are embarking on. So, moving on from Locarno in Switzerland for Africa to Indonesia in Asia, the culture minister for the country is bent on increasing the number of cinemas in the country. Is it a laudable idea? Of course, I think it is. We'll be delving into that story and finding out why that is the case and how beneficial that is for them as a country. This and more right here on the Film Mandate on YouTube. My name is Papa Otu. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Film Mandate, where I bring to you movie news, reviews, and reactions both from the African front and the international scene. I'd like to thank you all for joining me for this 56th episode of the Film Mandate. So we'll be delving into the first story, and the first story we is published in the Hollywood Reporter. So Locarno Open Doors program project is actually organized by the organizers of the Locarno Film Festival, all based in the city of Locarno in Switzerland. And for the past couple of years, they have embarked on projects that is mainly focused in the Asia and the Africa, the Caribbean regions. However, this time around, they decided to focus on Africa. And what a joy indeed it is for us to be experiencing that wonderful thing that they are doing for Africa. I'm saying that Africa is experiencing a renaissance in the film industry, and I'm glad the whole world is in some form or the other are helping to make that possible. So, from our first article, published in the Hollywood Reporter by George Cizalai on June 5th, it reads that Locarno unveils Open Doors program projects producers for first edition of Africa Focused. We are excited to welcome a strong slate of predominantly first and second time filmmakers whose inventive approaches and formal experimentation signal a bold evolution in global cinematic storytelling. Open Doors, the Locarno Film Festival's Locarno Pro organized co production platform and talent development program for filmmakers from regions where artistic expression is at risk, is gearing up for its 23rd edition this year with a focus on the African continent. On Thursday, 6 projects in development and 6 producers selected to participate were unveiled. Following a 3 year cycle dedicated to Latin America and the Caribbean, the program is now offering a platform for emerging voices from Africa through its projects, producers, and directors programs. It provides training, mentoring, and networking opportunities along public screenings and events during the 2025 edition of Locarno Pro, taking place in the Swiss town August 7 to 12 during the festival. Here's a look at the 6 projects in development selected to participate in the co-production track. Congolese veteran documentary Les Bilokos, directed by Eriki Bahati and produced by Giresi Kazonga for Kigas Films. Pardon me if I'm not getting the name right. I'm trying my best. Pardon me. Documentary animation hybrid journal intimate dune femme cheveux, Diary of a Goat Woman, a co-production between the Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso, represented by director Azata Soro and producer Namaiti Likatori, TSK Films. And also from Ethiopia, Ethiopian project The Fortunate, a dark comedy by director Haptamu Gebre Hiwot, and producer Nahusene Dereje of MTF Multimedia. We also have Nigerian reincarnation romance Kachifo, Till the Morning Comes by director Dika Ofoma and producer Blessing Uzi from Blue House Studios. Also, we have Luthers, that is Fighters, a Senegalese wrestling family drama by director Alassane Sai and producer Jules Dieng of Tieli Films. Zimbabwean supernatural mystery Black Snake by director Nashir Nyamubaya and producer Sui Ellen Chitunya, Tichunya, sorry, of 263 Reels Productions. The participants of the Open Door programs producers program, a career building initiative for creative producers, are Kamilara of Angola, Mustafa Sawadogo of Burkina Faso, Leol Shuafero of Ethiopia, June Wairegi of Kenya, Yannick Mizero Kabano of Rwanda, and Kuda Kwashe Ms. Marajika of Zimbabwe. Said Yanis Gay, the new head of studies at Open Doors, the inception of the new cycle of Open Doors is an exciting marker of the role African film industries will play within the global independent film landscape in years to come. The platform designed by our passionate artistic team is a space where talents will be empowered to continue to shape the instruments, strategies, and community these filmmakers need to see their projects and careers blossom. With our program, we aim to strengthen both the creative vision and business acumen necessary to navigate selective markets while maintaining distinctive narrative voices. Open Doors head Shuzi, Bankuti, added, as we enter a new cycle focused on the African continent, Open Doors reaffirms its commitment to supporting filmmakers working in contexts where artistic freedom is often challenged. We are excited to welcome a strong slate of predominantly first and second time filmmakers whose inventive approaches and formal experimentation signal a bold evolution in global cinematic storytelling. The range of perspectives represented is striking. Each project brings a distinct voice that challenges narrative conventions. On August 12th, a panel of professional jury members will grant financial and in-kind awards to selected winning projects. So that is the story about the Locarno film event lending support to African filmmakers. And I'm happy about this story in particular because um, from the beginning of this year till now, we keep hearing stories of African filmmakers making it big or making a splash at film festivals and all that. And it looks like the world over, or the industries or stakeholders of the very successful industries world over, are noticing a trend in particular coming from Africa, where now, just as they said in this article, they are bringing about inventive storytelling, which is challenging the typical narrative convention, unlike any other. And for that reason, I'm happy that the agencies or film institutions are seeing this happening and supporting in whichever way they can. And I'm excited about it because this then helps African filmmakers to have that needed platform to exhibit their talents and prove to the world that we are more than just what perhaps they perceive of us. Regardless, these African filmmakers are powerful in their own rights. And in time past, we've had the forebearers of filmmakers who have been in that space to tell African stories. But now I'm excited that And events like Locarno is helping to tell or help or aid African filmmakers to tell these stories that I'm sure they are heavily burdened with that they want to. Not only that, but it doesn't mean story. We've not been telling stories. We've been telling stories, but most often these stories, apart from some few exceptions, do not really travel beyond the coast of our land. A couple of them have traveled, made it into places that ordinarily doors have not been opened onto them. But with this project that they are working on, at least it's going to give others the opportunity who may perhaps never have the opportunity to tell it on that scale or on those platforms. So it is indeed exciting. But what also makes me happy about this entire program is not just the Locarno Film Festival or panelists providing or grants, financial grants to the filmmakers, but I'm happy that they are going to help them to help sharpen that business acumen for the producers in particular. And these are things that we need predominantly in the film industry so that we can build a formidable, I mean, individuals can build their business or film production houses to be very formidable, but in the long term, helping the industry as a whole. So that transfer of knowledge, I in particular am excited about, and it is my hope that with this initiative being given them, they will bring back the knowledge to help the generation of African filmmakers who perhaps may never get this opportunity, may never ever get this opportunity. So my hope is that those who would win, or if it's all six of them that are going to get these funding, they are able to learn whatever it is that they have to learn, both from even how the funding uh, granting process go about to the business acumen that they are granted, the strategies for distribution, how a producer is able to balance creativity and the business aspect of it, whichever knowledge that they are impacted with. My hope is that on their return or on the successful completion of whatever project it is, they will come back home to Africa and transfer the knowledge for particularly African filmmakers to benefit. Some may never get this platform, but at least with the knowledge that they will receive from them, they can also do their production at that standard quality that is expected worldwide for the local industries to experience a shift from mediocrity to excellence. So I think that is indeed laudable, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all those who have been selected for such an inventive and narrative conventional challenging their scripts are. So kudos to all of them, and we'll be looking forward to their projects when they are finally completed. So yeah, it is exciting, and also Locarno, thanks for this opportunity you are giving to Africans for such for their projects. So moving on from this first story to our second story, Indonesia has been are bent on building a much more formidable industry that otherwise so many nations may not have. But the good thing is that they have recognized the challenges they are facing and are bent on turning the script around to make sure that their industry is more formidable than it used to be. And for this reason, their culture minister has made a move to want to build more cinemas to help promote their culture. It's fascinating that is the focus even in building the cinemas is not necessarily to make their money back, which is even a good mindset because I mean I wouldn't say it is solely what it's supposed to be for, but knowing how sometimes the film industry is, if the sole objective of production is money, you may never get it back because a lot of films may lose along the way. it is more or less a little bit of a gamble. So sometimes productions may not perform. But looking at the fact that they are looking at also promotional and promoting their culture and everything, it means that the sole objective won't be just profit making, which indeed should be also part of it, so that the funds that are being generated can help recoup, reimburse all those investments that have been made to keep on expanding and improving the industry. So that is good. But let's delve into the article, which says that Minister's Zone urges increasing cinema screens to promote culture. To promote culture. So I read, and this is was published on the uh, website, Antara website. So the culture minister Fadiri Zone delivers a statement in Denpasar, Bali on Saturday, June 7th, 2025, emphasizing that an adequate number of cinema screens plays a vital role in unlocking the full potential of Indonesia's film industry. Denpasar, Antara, Culture Minister Fadli Zon emphasized the need to increase the number of cinema screens in Indonesia from around 2,500 to 10,000 to maximize the potential of films as a powerful medium for promoting cultural expression. I believe Indonesia holds enormous potential in the film industry, but the limited number of cinema screens remains a major obstacle. We need 10,000, while currently only about 2,500 are operating, he stated. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the Balinali Film Festival in Denpasar, Bali, on Saturday, June 7th, Zon called on investors and filmmakers to recognize and help address this gap, including through collaboration with regional governments. Highlighting the strong link between cinema and culture, the minister emphasized that films extend beyond acting and serve as a dynamic platform to showcase diverse cultural elements. In addition to acting, films can incorporate literature, dance, music, and cuisine. This is why films are a vital tool for promoting culture, he explained. He then reiterated that the limited number of cinemas remains a significant barrier to harnessing the full potential of Indonesia's thriving film industry. Recognizing film as a form of soft power, Zone urged Indonesia to follow the example of countries like South Korea, the United States, and India, nations that have effectively used cinema to expand their cultural influence on the global stage. He expressed optimism that Indonesia could follow a similar path, especially as domestic films made up 67% of total screen time nationwide in 2024. In addition, Zone noted that the Ministry of Culture is also focusing on improving the quality of screenwriting among local filmmakers. We are also paying attention to screenwriting. A good story can still fall flat if the screenplay is poor. Therefore, it is crucial to enhance this aspect through workshops and capacity building programs, he concluded. He concluded. And this indeed is a nation who is determined to change things, who is determined to make things happen for their film industry. So, I mean, that is indeed a good initiative for the film industry, realizing that you can't go making an impact on the world stage if you can't even make an impact in your own home country as an industry. Maybe individuals can when perhaps they have the opportunity to have their films selected for film festivals and making impact on a global stage. That is possible. But beyond that, you're also looking at a thriving business in the country where those who may perhaps never have the opportunity to travel beyond the shores of or the boundaries or borders of their country will be able to create films and have it, screen in the cinemas. Some may not even want to travel outside their country anyway. All they care about is to tell good stories and not care about accolades or any film festival whatsoever. So the increase of cinemas or screens, it is indeed the right direction to go. For us filmmakers, that is our marketplace, or that is our main marketplace. And I mean, aside film markets and film mats that are organized regularly, film festivals and stuff, the immediate marketplace for a lot of filmmakers is the cinema screens. Just as footballers will go onto a football pitch to play sport, for filmmakers, their stadium, their place where audiences or spectators can come and watch is the cinema screens or the cinema halls. And that is indeed a forward thinking people who are looking at making sure that, as more of even their main objective is not necessarily the profit margins they are going to make on their films, but they are looking at acculturation to promote their culture to the Gen Zs and the new generation that exists now. And not just that, but you'll be surprised to know that when films are also made, it also shares its culture with people outside the country or outside the country of the native who made it. So indeed, it serves as a form of cultural export, and that is how powerful a film is or a film can be. But I like what they even emphasize the most. I think this story I treated it some time back, but it's it amazes me how focused they are, realizing that just like a building, you need an architectural drawing to ensure that a building is well put in place. And he stated the fact that a story can still fall flat if the screenplay is not good enough. So, meaning their focus is to go back to the fundamentals and have stories written right first before it is produced. Meaning that they are going to organize workshops to have those interested or already established or screenwriters to hone their craft and sharpen it even better. And that is exciting because you can't tell a good story with a bad script. Perhaps a good director might be able to salvage parts of it. But yes, some bad directors or may end up, know, ruining a good script. But the combination of a good script with a good director will end up definitely producing a good story on screen. And that, I think, it is admirable to see that the governing body is keen on helping build their film industry, to want to even move their cinemas from the number of 2,500 to 10,000, which is about 300% increase. 300%. So yeah, 300% increase. It's amazing. That in itself is amazing. But I like the idea is that when these cinema halls are built, they want to make sure the screens or the silver screens display quality films, films that whose story can stand the test of time and can rub shoulders with other productions from anywhere in the country. And this is indeed admirable. It is indeed admirable, and I hope that they are able to achieve it just as they have set out to do. That is what I hope for, that they achieve it for other nations from Africa and beyond to learn from their example. That is industries that are failing, industries that are weak, to learn from their example. So, congratulations to them. I don't know, I keep saying congratulations to all of them, but pardon me, I feel like what they are doing is even a win already. And that is why I think congratulating them is in order. So, yeah, this sums up my second story right from the country of Indonesia and the good work they are doing. But moving on, especially having returned from the weekend, both the holiday weekend and quite a long weekend, actually, let's check how well the films that screen in the cinemas performed, and the beginning from the domestic box office from the North American market, that is both USA and Canada, for week 23, that is between the days June 6th to June 8th. These are the top 10 films that performed. There are still more that you can check it out. I'll leave everything in the description down below. But to focus on the first 10 films, we have Lilo and Stitch at, at number one. grossing $32.5 million, having dropped at 47.4% from last week, and it remained at number one. That's the exciting thing. It still remained at number one, even though it dropped the number of cinema count, and has made a total domestic box office of 335,796 and $345. At number two, the first, and it being the first week of its release, is From the World of John Wick. Ballerina is at number two, grossing $25 million, and it has, I mean, that's the total domestic box office for Ballerina. Dropping from number two, that is Mission Impossible, to the third position. The Final Reckoning has made a total of $15 million this weekend, with a cumulative domestic a cumulative total of $149,216,953. At number four, dropping from number three, is Karate Kid Legend, making a total of $8.7 million. And then the total domestic box office is 35,440,816. Final Destination Bloodlines dropped from number four to number five and made $6.5 million this weekend, making a total of $123,564,623. At number six, dropping, or actually moving up, quite impressive, moving up from number 14, is the Phoenician Scheme, and moving up is as a result of the number of theater counts. They ramped up their theater counts to 1,672 theaters, and it has made, I think so, it moved up from just 6 theaters to a total of 1,672, and it has made $6.250,000, and that has made a total of $6,982,078. At number eight, being its first week of release, Done Evil Eye has made $3,096,000. And then at number nine, dropping from number six, is Sinners, which made $2,910,000. I mean, $2,910,000, with a total domestic cume of $272 million. Sorry, 272,630,548. And last but not least, on my top 10 for the week is, I mean, the top 10 domestic box office in North America is Thunderbolts, dropping from seven, added $2.5 million to their total cume, making their total cume 186,492,793. So this is the domestic, and then so let's move on to the worldwide box office, and let's see how the new weekly movies are performing on the global stage. So still on the Box Office Mojo site, as usual, Neza 2 tops it because of the margin is made $1,898,972,049. At number two is a Minecraft movie, which is inching closely to the $1 billion mark. Will they be able to achieve it? We do not know yet. But the total is $951,379,547. Lilo and Stitch in its second weekend has made a total already of $772,596,345. At the look of it, it looks like it may make it to $1 billion sooner than we think. At number four, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning has made a total of $450,416,953, And also Captain America Brave New World is still at 450 million, 101 and 577 $101,577. Thunderbolt is at number 6 with 374,588,406. Sinners at number 7 with a total of $357,230,548. Sorry, pardon me. And number 8, we have Final Destination Bloodlines with a total of $257,164,623. And Snow White at number 9 with $205,545,435. And last but not least of the top 10 is Dogman at $145,110,935. So this happens to be the list of movies that performed this weekend worldwide. I'll leave everything in the description below. So thank you for joining me for this episode, and this sums up my total stories for the day. I hope I'll be seeing you soon tomorrow as I bring to you another episode of the Film Mandates. My name is Papa Otu, and I'll see you soon.